Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another breakfast chat. And today, I thought I would cover for you guys something that came up in my comments yesterday. And people ask about this all the time. Thought I would do this now because, yes, I have a longer video in my deep backlog of informative videos to throw up later this year when I'm busy and don't have time to make videos. So, the topic came up of TRT, and you always have people who, because of the current climate on the internet, people need to understand there's a difference between TRT and I'm on TRT, wink, 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 okay, which means you're probably blasting excessive amounts of anabolics, and you might have one of them or two of them prescribed by a doctor, okay? They are not the same thing. 99.9% of people who are on TRT are not gaining 10 pounds of muscle from it. Okay? And it's not my opinion. It doesn't matter that you know a guy who claims to be on TRT. See, that's anecdote. I know a guy who put on 15 pounds and lost body fat when he said he went on TRT. Why doesn't that happen in the scientific studies then? Maybe because the guy you know is a fucking liar. And we see it right here on YouTube. And I mean, the worst offender that I recall, and who all knows who does this anymore, and I'll get to you guys in a minute what actually happens. You guys remember when Low Blinder talked about, oh, what I do is from my doctor and it's no one's business, and he had said he gets 300 milligrams prescribed of testosterone a week. Okay. I hope people understand that there is no world in which 300 milligrams is TRT. He might be getting it from a doctor. I know doctors who will prescribe heavy doses of test, growth hormone, nandrolone, anavar. They'll prescribe all that stuff in a stack for people. There are clinics that offer the service. I have a client who was on TRT going to a T clinic, and they offered him peptides, they offered him anavar, all this stuff. Okay, just because you're getting it from a doctor doesn't mean it's actually TRT. It just means it's legal, completely legal prescribed steroids. Not the same thing. You're still doing a blast. Okay, but Low Blinder had said 300 milligrams. Well, then back when I talked to him back then, he more or less implied at one time that he also liked to stack up to 200 milligrams of NPP per day. That's 1.4 grams of nandrolone per week. 1.4. Plus, he'd like to use growth hormone and all that other stuff with it. Okay? Do you guys understand the difference here? TRT is like 100 to 150 milligrams per week. Baseline is 100 milligrams a week prescribed by a doctor, not 300. They are worlds apart. And then if you're stacking, I don't know, another gram and a half of other stuff on top of it, keeping in mind 1,500 is more than 100. In fact, it's 15 times the amount as 100. Hopefully, again, people can do some math in their head and realize, hey, these are not the same thing. And again, for example, it's the difference for those people who don't understand the concept. It's the difference of saying, hey, when I go out and I have a drink on Friday night, a drink means you have one drink. It's the difference between one shot and 15 shots. One of them might give you a buzz. The other's going to have you puking drunk and possibly even alcohol intoxication, depending upon the individual and their tolerance and how fast they do it. Okay? Difference between one shot of whiskey and 15 shots of whiskey. Again, had to put it into a perspective that people who don't mess with this stuff could understand. So, what really happens when people take TRT? What happens in the research? Anybody know? If you do not have low testosterone and you go on true TRT, you will gain 0. No muscle at all. You may not even feel better. You might feel worse. Okay, so let's come over to that point. People who brag about not being on TRT, it's like, well, why would it matter? If you have a normal, healthy testosterone production, if you have the testosterone production of a healthy 25-year-old male, and you were to be prescribed TRT from a doctor, you would get no benefits from it. And like I said, you might actually feel worse on it in some cases, because all you're doing is suppressing your normal level and replacing it with a synthetic hormone. That's it. There's no benefit. And if you do suffer from low testosterone and you don't go get it prescribed by a doctor, hopefully you have a good reason. You know why? Because the research shows that it enhances quality of life, mood, energy, sex drive, better sleep, everything. Reduces, and this is in large scale studies, it reduces the risk of stroke and heart attack on top of it. So if you're over 40 and you have clinically low testosterone, just getting TRT alone cuts your chances of heart attack and stroke by 30%. Okay? It's stupid not to. So when you say something like, well, I'm not on TRT, and people almost use it as a bragging thing, what are you talking about? So did you need TRT? Then if you do, then you're a fucking idiot if you don't do it. Okay? So basically you're claiming either to be stupid, right? Or you're claiming that you have a healthy level and you would probably have side effects and negative effects if you went on TRT. So which is it? If you don't qualify, why would you do it? Now, let's come over to the other point. You step outside of the goofy lifting world because we know you're going to gain 2 or 3 pounds of muscle from TRT over the course of about 5 or 6 months, and then it's going to stop putting any extra muscle on you. That's it. That's what happens. If you go on real TRT and you medically need it, that's what you can expect. 2, 3 pounds of muscle over many months. And then once your body catches up to the amount of muscle that it should have with what you're doing at your normal testosterone level, it doesn't add any more muscle. And if you come off of it, you'll lose that 2 or 3 pounds of extra muscle. Okay, that is what the research shows happens. Then you come over and you look at that people who use it for real therapeutic reasons. And I'll give you guys an anecdote, and I know other people who've said the same thing. Every single person I have ever met, and I have 2 family members, by the way, one through marriage, who fall in this category. Every single person I know who makes at least $500,000 a year is a man and over 40, all go on testosterone. Why? The quality of life. It enhances their business. It enhances their mindset towards business, towards making money, towards their careers. They're not doing it to get jacked, because only one of them that I know of, I can think of several guys I've met who fall in this category, who've all said this. Only one of them is big and jacked. Okay. He was also in the NFL, though, at one time, so fair enough. But this is something I've noticed with successful entrepreneurs or people with very, very high incomes over 40. They all go get testosterone prescribed. They're not willing to risk not having high levels. It will affect their business. Just something for people to think about. This whole TRT debate is a poor man's and a bodybuilder's argument. That's all it is. That's all it is. And the rest of the serious world where people are making real money and doing things, all the guys that I know are on it, and some of them don't even work out. They go get it prescribed because it helps their mindset, quality of life, mood, focus. And they go do it. They get it from a doctor. Okay? And they're not jacked. Again, this is silly bodybuilder nonsense arguing about, well, if you're on TRT or not. Oh my God. Either you benefit from it or you don't. And if you benefit from it, you're not going to get a prescription from your doctor. I don't know what's wrong with you. Like you have something wrong with you for making that sort of bad decision. And if you don't benefit from it because you have healthy, young, robust levels, It would be stupid to do it. But here's the difference. There's a difference between TRT and wink wink TRT, the polite way of saying I'm blasting a bunch of gear, but trying to claim I'm doing it legal. And they might actually be doing it legal. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.